So when I'm talking about these yogas, there are these three ways to understand them. The ecclesiastical, which is, for want of a better word, let's say religious, but I don't actually mean religious. I mean that we're including the idea of Great Spirit, God, Goddess. So that's what I mean by ecclesiastical. There is a scientific way to understand them, and there is a secular way to understand them. And I do want to introduce that to you because often when we talk about scriptures or science, they seem to be mutually exclusive, whereas yoga is wholeness and bringing together of the secular, the ecclesiastical, and the scientific. Okay? So I'm just making that point to start off with. And Agya Chakra, the lotus, is the two-petaled silver lotus, and that's where Ida and Pingala join. Okay, and so here we go, secular, ecclesiastical, or scientific. Scientifically, we're talking about the corpus callosum, which is the thick joining between the right and the left brain. Okay, that's the scientific. Ecclesiastically, we're talking about Shiva and Shakti, divine masculine, divine feminine. Secularly, we're talking about Ida and Pingala, the two pathways. Alright? So all of those aspects come together at the eyebrow center. So you can see how important it is for, and why so much attention is paid to it in meditation and in yoga nidra, that space behind the closed eyes inside the forehead. Karma. It's a Sanskrit word that means, anyone know? Have a guess. Just have a guess. Put it out there. Let it arise from your inner being.
Back at you.
What was that?
Back at you.
Well, yes, I can see that could be an understanding. In terms of karma yoga, it actually is talking about action. So in a sense, you're correct, because an action creates a reaction. So back at you is actually valid and quite a fundamental understanding of the word karma. But it actually means action. So if you can understand it from the perspective of that it means action, then when we are practicing karma yoga, we are putting into action something. What are we putting into action? For the most part, we're choosing to give action to our thought, word, and deed as a way to be in service. In service to what? What can you imagine you could be in service to?
Others.
What was that?
Other people.
Yeah, that's one thing we could be in service to. What else could we be in service to?
The God.
Yes, if that's your leaning or your understanding or what inspires you, absolutely we could be in service to the Lord God of our being, or the great Goddess, great Spirit, or whatever. What else could we be in service to?
Ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really encourage you to put yourself into the equation, because a lot of the ecclesiastical / religious approach is to think of karma yoga as selfless service, and people tend to get hooked up, and it is quite a strong definition that karma yoga is selfless service, and it's a valid one. But what people get hooked up on is that, I have to just do everything for other people, and then where is the self? The self that I am, the self that you are, the self that we all are. Must put your own self into the equation of selfless service. How would you do that? It seems like a contradiction, wouldn't you think? If one of the translations of karma yoga is selfless service, how would we put the self into selfless service? What are they talking about? What do you think is happening?
And start by nourishing your body.
Yeah. You cannot essentially offer selfless service unless you have taken care of yourself first. Can't do it. Won't survive. Burnout. All of those things that you hear about. It's not possible. And in terms of the true yogic experience, yoga tantra experience, when we are truly in the process of karma yoga, we get filled first. And that's something that people forget to teach and forget to impart in the teachings of karma yoga. It is not just that we are in service to everything else. We get filled first. Why and how do we get first? That's the question. So the question is, what makes an action or work not just action or work, but actually karma yoga?
Hatha Yoganushasanam. 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 Now therefore complete instruction.
Stay connected to the breath, and on the inhalation, stretch the arms alongside the ears, lean into the hips, and reach comfortably back behind. Hold and breathe, keeping the awareness of your breath at the Vishuddhi chakra, pit of the throat, behind in the spine. Reaching through the sides, take a nice full deep breath, and then as you exhale, forward fold to the mat, bend the knees as much as you need to. Awareness to the Swadhisthana at the tailbone center. Palms to the mat, step the left leg back into the lunge position. Awareness at Agnya, top of the spine between the ears. As you exhale, stepping the front foot back into the mountain pose. Awareness at the Vishuddhi, the pit of your throat. At the end of the next exhalation, retain the breath out. Bring the knees to the mat. Dip the chin and chest between the hands. Awareness at the Manipura chakra in the spine behind the navel. As you inhale, slide forward. Connect the pubic bone. Lift the crown into the cobra pose. Awareness at the Swadhisthana, base of the tailbone. Toes tuck as the sit bones lift up for the exhalation into the mountain pose. Awareness at Vishuddhi, pit of the throat. Inhaling the right foot forward to the space between the hands, left knee to the mat, Agnya, top of the spine between the ears. With the exhalation, back foot steps forward, bend the knees as much as you need, forward fold, Swadhisthana at the tailbone. Arms alongside as you inhale, dive high, reaching up and arching back, Vishuddhi, pit of the throat. With the exhalation, palms pressed, leading through the midline down to the chest, Anahata, center of the chest, behind in the spine.
Samyama is when you practice meditation, you get to a point where you experience what we call Dhyana yoga, which is the union of knowledge. That is the meditative state. That's the state of meditation. And you experience meditation, and then after some time of being in meditation, the mind transcends itself, and you realize the state of samadhi. Now samadhi, as Venkatesananda has mentioned, is the experience of the void. But within the void there is consciousness, but it's very subtle consciousness. And then prior to the state of meditation, you have dharana, which is concentration. So you have these three particular states, which are quite deep. Concentration in this aspect, from this aspect, is when the mind becomes focused on the object of meditation, whatever it might be, and it can be anything. It becomes focused on it, and the experience is that we go deeper and deeper into our mind, subconscious and unconscious minds. And then we get to a point where it's like hitting a pocket of thought. We have an experience where suddenly, bang, we've come out and we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that. Now those thoughts, all they're really good for is letting us know how deep we actually got with our penetration through our concentration. But the concentration it's talking about is not holding your mind to a particular thing, holding it, it's focusing on it and then going in deep and then experiencing the fluctuation and then going back to it and going back in again, fluctuating and then focusing, fluctuating, focusing. And this is considered to be a natural state of mind, a natural function of mind, which a lot of people who practice meditation and also teach meditation, they've missed this point. Hatha Yoga from the point of view of the traditional Hatha Yoga, which is based around the 6 Shatkarmas, which are the cleansing practices of yoga, the obviously cleansing practices, using water to wash yourself out with, and a variety of other things. There's 6 Shatkarmas, and they go like this, along these lines. Neti, which is washing the sinuses. Kunju, which is washing the stomach. Noli, which is rotating the stomach muscles. Kapalbhati, which is breathing in a particular way. Tratak, which is concentrating on a candle flame, basically for this one, and that purifies and cleans the eyes. And then Basti, which is like a colonic wash, sucking water up through the anus and flushing it out. They're the 6 Shatkarmas. And it's considered to be necessary to have subjected yourself to these to some form or another. Postures, pranayama, and all of that have a place, a big place in Hatha Yoga, but once again, the essence or the basis of Hatha Yoga from a classical point of view are the Shatkarmas, which of course in the West hardly anybody really knows.